There's something about the ending of Spider-Man Brand New Day that you might miss if you're only watching it for the action. Because the final few minutes are actually telling us exactly what Peter's biggest problem has been the entire movie. And it isn't Jean Grey, it isn't damage control, it isn't even the mutation, it's Peter choosing to be alone. After everything that happens with Jean and the damage control conflict, Peter finally realizes that isolating himself isn't protecting anyone, it's just destroying him. And that makes the next scene incredibly important. Peter goes back to Ned, not as Spider-Man, not through some huge superhero moment, he simply reintroduces himself. And then they do it. Their old handshake. The same handshake we've seen before, but this time it means something completely different. Because Ned starts remembering. The spell from No Way Home appears to crack, at least partially. And notice how quiet the scene is. There's no giant multiverse portal, no Avengers arriving, no massive CGI spectacle, just Peter getting one piece of his old life back. But then the movie gives us the opposite answer with MJ. Peter's letter finally reaches her. She reads it. And for a second, you might expect the movie to completely reset their relationship. It doesn't. MJ tells Peter that she doesn't love him. And honestly, that's one of the most important choices the movie makes. Peter doesn't magically get everything back. He gets Ned back. He gets a chance to reconnect. But MJ is still a person whose memories and relationship with Peter were changed by the spell. So Peter has to accept that some things can't simply be restored. And that makes the ending much more bittersweet. Peter finally chooses connection, but he doesn't get his old life handed back to him. Then the credits roll. And this is where the movie quietly changes direction, because there's only one post-credit scene, and if you blink, you could almost miss how important it is. We see Ned's Spidey Tracker, the same app that has been running through the movie. At first, it detects a Spider-Man signal in Queens. Pretty normal, right? Then the map starts pulling back. New York disappears, then Earth, then the moon, and it keeps going. The signal is now somewhere in deep space. The screen glitches, and then suddenly, the Spider-Man icon appears again. Location found, and that's it. No Tom Holland, no giant cameo, no Doctor Doom reveal, just a Spider-Man signal sitting impossibly far away from Earth. Then we get the message, Spider-Man will return. And that changes the entire meaning of the ending, because Brand New Day spends almost the entire movie bringing Peter back down to Earth, emotionally and literally. He's dealing with street-level crime, loneliness, his mutation, and trying to figure out who he is without MJ and Ned. Then the final scene basically says, that chapter is over. Now Peter is being pulled somewhere much bigger. The obvious connection is Avengers Doomsday. And with Doom's multiverse story approaching, it makes sense that Spider-Man could eventually become part of that conflict. But there's another possibility that might be even bigger. Secret Wars. The tracker never tells us exactly where Peter is. It doesn't even definitively say what pulled him there. That leaves the door open for Peter to enter another universe, get caught in an incursion, or become involved in whatever multiversal event Doom is building toward. And that's why I actually like how simple the scene is. The movie doesn't explain everything. It gives you one image, Spider-Man, somewhere beyond Earth. And suddenly, the next chapter feels completely different. Peter spent this entire movie learning that he can't live completely alone. Then the post-credit scene immediately sends him somewhere no one knows where he is. So the movie ends with Peter choosing people again, and the MCU immediately asks, what happens when Spider-Man gets pulled into a universe where he has no idea who he can trust? That's the real cliffhanger. And honestly, that may be the most important thing Brand New Day leaves behind.